Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Final Tackle podcast. And we've got a special guest. She plays for the North Sydney Bears Harvey Norman Premiership women's team. She also has played for New South Wales and the Jillaroos. She's Lacey Shields. Thank you for joining us today. And how are you going?
Thanks for having me, CJ. I'm doing well. Thanks for the opportunity to come and talk to you.
No, all good. Thank you. I mean, you could have said no, and so that's that's how it is. You could have said no,
I
so
don't
thank
think,
you.
yeah, I don't think many girls would say no to having the opportunity to talk all things footy. So I
And
think
that's it, eh? That's it. So I mean, let's address the elephant in the room, the Bears, and they're in the finals. It's the grand final qualifier coming up tomorrow. What's the vibe around the team, and how's it all going for you guys so far?
the vibe is really, really good. Obviously, coming off the back of 2 wins, the standards are set really high for the girls. I'm not going to say we're overconfident, but we are pretty confident in our structure. The girls are really getting around each other. And you know what? We're just really enjoying footy and having the opportunity to actually be able to play, given the current environment with coronavirus. So,
Yeah.
it's really good. We're really positive. We've worked all season on our culture, and it's like it's one big family. So, yeah, very positive.
No, that's awesome. And you guys have captain's run, obviously, because it's the day before the game. Do you reckon they're gonna take it to you at training tonight, or do you reckon it'll be like a light sort of session?
We generally have a light session for captain's run, but we do a little quirky thing where we have Fun Sock Friday. So for our captain run,
Yep.
so it'll be a light session, but it'll be just working on our structure and ensuring that the girls know their role come tomorrow.
Now that'd be cool. I mean, let's hope it's not Fun Sock Friday tomorrow and someone rocks up in Macca's socks or something. No, that's awesome. And obviously, talking about your footy, you've played for the Jillaroos, which is the pinnacle of women's rugby league in Australia, and you've also played for New South Wales. What was it like to play for the Jillaroos, first of all, being able to pull on the green and gold?
I think you'll hear every player say this when they say there's nothing that compares to putting the green and gold on. So, yeah, it is the pinnacle of where you want to be at a sporting level. Um, It was around 10 years ago that I did put on the green and gold jersey, but I still remember to this day getting that phone call from Karen Stewart, the coach at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they, at the time, were playing overseas. It was a New Zealand Test match. It was
Okay.
against Kiwi Ferns. And then,
They're a big contender in the international. Yeah.
yeah, but and we hadn't beat them. Australia hadn't beaten the Kiwi Ferns. So we were,
Like
it
at
was a
all
number.
up to that point.
Yeah, I think it
Wow.
was a number of years went by that we
They're a
were the
bogey
first.
team.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, we went into another game against the Kiwi Māori girls, which
Okay.
was, yeah, separate, so like a cultural, and they beat us. So, it was a bit of a fun time. We lost a lot of girls to injury over there because we got put into a comp, a local comp in New Zealand, and I don't think us Aussie girls were quite used to the stature of some of the girls over
Yeah.
there.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, and, I mean, as you said, it was 10 years ago, but hey, it's part of the Jillaroos history. You are part of, playing for Australia, which is amazing. And obviously, switching over a little bit to New South Wales, obviously, state of origin. In my opinion, if I were to be, a professional footballer, I would set my sights on state of origin more than I would Australia. That's just me personally. What
Yeah.
was it like pulling on the sky blue jersey, running on there, and was there an intensity difference compared to playing in the Harvey Norman Premiership?
Well, at the time, we didn't have the Harvey Norman Premiership back then.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sort of like the lower level club. So a similar pathway to what we've got in place now. So um, the pathway into it was set through the Nationals. Then you get selected from, the country versus city. Then you go to Nationals, and it was played in Queensland.
Yeah.
And then you get selected to play State of Origin out of that comp. But putting on the Sky Blues jersey, as you said, it's probably now, I guess, to some girls, that state versus state is.
I know the Queenslanders get up for it hardcore.
It's like you bleed blue or you bleed red, So it's like it's a very competitive level.
Hmm.
Even at the time that we played, Queensland was still at their pinnacle of 10 years straight.
Yep.
And I remember fondly losing to them at least 30 seconds to go, and we made an error in our own half, and they capitalised on the back of that. And Carney Norris actually went in for the winning try. I'll never forget it.
That's what I always. Yeah, in every State of Origin game, even if Queensland loses, Queensland always scores last in the game. It's weird, but I love it.
They're so the structure, and coming back to probably back then, New South Wales wasn't as established as
Queensland was,
and I still feel New South Wales is playing catch-ups still to this day.
They are definitely catching up, though, because I think they won last year and the year before, didn't they? Not just the men's, but I mean the women's as well.
Yeah, but like around the women's comp and the structure of how Queensland have all operated, they've always had a really strong structure in their approach.
That would probably make sense as to why the Broncos women's team is doing so well at the moment as well.
Yeah, that's another thing, and the fact that Queensland's so big that they've got so much
talent pool.
You've got like regional girls, and you got your state girls in there, so they've got a smorgasbord of talented players up in here.
No, that's fair. Speaking of the NRLW, do you have hopes to play in the NRLW one day? And if so, which team do you reckon you personally would fit in at best?
Look, I'd be silly to say no to an NRLW contract, because that's the pinnacle of the sport at the moment. So, and unfortunately, they've only got 4 clubs in the comp, which I'd love to see grow even more.
I'd love to see at least 2 more in the next few years.
Yeah, look, word on the street is Bulldogs are putting in...
I've heard that.
And that was from my local cafe.
Oh, wow. I mean, fingers crossed.
Yeah, unconfirmed, but word on the street, literally. But if I was to choose a club where I'd fit in, I definitely don't want to play for a Queensland team.
I would. I'm a Queenslander through and through.
If they offered me one, I wouldn't say no. But look, I'd love to play alongside Holly Wheeler because we grew up together. So and we were meant to actually play our first footy together this year, and unfortunately due to her injury, she was ruled out for this season. So and Daniel Lacey, the coach of the Dragons, has sort of crossed paths with him.
So you reckon the Dragons?
I reckon the Dragons, and I work for Westpac, so
it kind of goes.
Sponsor them, so
it all go hand in hand. I mean, Dragons, if you're listening, sign her up for NRLW. I mean, that'd be awesome. Honestly, that's awesome. Now, switching back to a bit of your grassroots, did you always play rugby league growing up, or was it like any sport you could get your hands on and everything in between?
Look, I played any and every sport. People used to say that even though it was my first crack at the sport, I'd really excel in it. I was just a natural sport person anyway. But I did play rugby league for the Tari Red Rovers.
Mm-hmm.
It was my junior rugby league club, and that was obviously up until around 10 or 11 to the girls didn't play no more. But then I went over to soccer and I become a representative soccer player.
Oh, wow.
Then my brother was playing indoor cricket at the time. So I went over and said, I want to play indoor cricket. So then one of the guys at the centre said, why don't you try out for the state team?
And you made the state team, I'm guessing?
I made the shadow player, and then I got called up because someone got injured.
Wow.
And then I went and played state for indoor cricket. But then when I went away to South Australia, I actually got selected for the Australian team in indoor cricket. So you not
just the Jillaroos, but you played indoor cricket for Australia, everything. Wow.
Yeah, and because of that selection in the Australian team, funnily enough, Boyd Cordner and
he's from Tari as well.
Yeah, and we were nominated for the Tari Mayor's Award together, and I was like, of course he's going to get it. And we were really, really young then, and look at where he is now. So it's really, really good to see Tari sports people really thriving at the top level.
Exactly, and honestly, to have that connection as well with Boyd and all that jazz, because Tari is, not gonna lie, a really small town. It is a tiny town, so to see so much, talent, you could say, come from there, such as yourself, such as Boyd, and unfortunately Boyd's cousin, but even he had a massive amount of talent. It's great. It's so great to see.
I can tell you now, there's probably 4 I can count four former Jillaroos that are four Jillaroos that are from Taree. That's Holly Wheeler, Kylie Lambert, or Kylie Hilda, they call her now, and Ashley Acon.
Yep, and yourself, obviously.
Yeah, and myself. So, we've actually good stats coming out of Taree for the women's footy.
That's so great. And also, it's
the country footy.
I was going to say, it's also great for women's country footy as well. Yeah. Like, let me put this way. Next city country game, it's going to be a stacked country team. You guys are going to absolutely own. Like, 4 or 5 people will be from Taree. That'll be great. Who was your inspiration and, idol to, really pursue rugby league?
I think, look, it's going to probably sound cliche, but my brother was probably my biggest influence to play rugby league. Everything that he did, I wanted to do. I was like his little shadow. And, the cricket thing, I wanted to go do it because he was playing. So, my brother, he ended up being signed, obviously, the club back in Taree. I think it was the Bulls and the Pirates. But he also played up until he was 30-something for Nrlw and Jets.
Oh, yep.
So, but he's now not playing footy anymore because of injuries, and he's sort of just sticking to cricket because it does take its toll. But yeah, he's probably my biggest influence.
No, that's awesome. Did you follow an NRL team growing up as a kid?
Yeah, so I actually, weirdly enough, I follow the Parramatta Eels.
Okay.
I'm the only one out of my family that follow the Parramatta Eels. They're all Dragons supporters.
Okay.
I actually went to a raffle last year or the year before, and I won a big St. George Dragons jersey, for 2018 jersey.
Okay.
And I have it hanging up in my bedroom just to spite my family.
Like, they could be like, nah, give it to me. We're the Dragons fans. Yeah.
You don't even go for them. I was like, it's just because I won it and it's to spite you guys.
Yep. No, that's great. Now, was that during the Eels, 09 run, or was it, when did you start,
No, I've always followed the Eels. I had my bedspread was the Eels. I think I just loved the colour, the blue and yellow. As you said,
I was going to say, it is a great colour scheme.
But I think also because I really loved Nathan Hindmarsh and the fact that he was like a workhorse.
He really was. Honestly, in my opinion, I think this list came out, as in the fan votes and all that, but he is definitely in the top 3 captains to never win a premiership, in my opinion. As in the sense of he deserved one so much. Him, Andrew Eddinghausen, and I don't know who else, but those two are definitely in the top 3 of captains to unfortunately never win a grand final.
And he cops it. Even the.
He got his silverware last year if you count Legends of League.
Yeah, true.
So,
yeah.
But I just feel some of them you just feel for them. They go their whole career 13 years and nothing. So
yeah.
But and speaking of grand finals, you've got the qualifier on Saturday at Leichhardt. So anyone who's listening or watching this, because this will come out sometime this afternoon, head down there. Tickets are only $10, cheap as chips, and you can have chips while you're there. Why not? It's going to be a great day. What advice do you have for any kids, young girls, young guys, whoever, who would love to make it to the elite part of whatever sport they're playing?
I guess I'll stick to the young girls because, in light of Women in League round.
For sure.
My advice would be just give it a go. If you're interested in playing and you're not sure about getting into the full physicality of the game, there are other pathways to learn the fundamentals. I can even name a few girls that are coming off the back of strong touch background.
Yeah, Nita Maynard is and no, not Nita. Tyler Gamble, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Gamble, top try scorer in Harvey Norman Premiership comp. So you've got Kira Dibbs. They all come off from touch backgrounds, and so Isabel Kelly was another one that comes from touch background. So yeah, look, especially if parents are worried about their young girls going into playing, they're not playing against the boys anymore. They actually have enough following and
to have a whole season and teams
of girls, so or ladies. So just go down to your local, or hit your local club up, and see if they're going to put in a team for 2020.
And if they're not, force a team to be made. Find people to make a team.
Yeah, and you know what? If not, bears are starting to come over.
Exactly, yeah. And then become into the feeder team for the Bears.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What is your current binge on Netflix that you're watching at the moment?
Oh, look, I have a few,
Mm-hmm.
but we've just finished watching Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
But I love documentaries. So
Oh,
there's the
same.
world's most, yeah, I love the world's most wanted. I've watched the Jeffrey Epstein
Oh, yep,
doco,
yep.
pretty full on. But yeah, I've got a few things. I do like sci-fi things and like magical, weird things.
So, like a
The
Vampire
Order
Diaries
is
type.
another,
Pardon?
like The Order's another one. I don't know, like werewolves and
Yep. So, like Teen Wolf and all that sort of stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
that's
There's another one on there. I can't remember it. Yeah, I've got heaps going. So I'm not allowed to watch any without my partner though, because you know that's against the rules.
okay. Yep, yep.
We have our separate ones that she doesn't like that I like, so I
Yeah.
start watching those. Yeah, so yeah, there's a few going.
No, that's fair. Honestly, I feel like anyone who doesn't have multiple binges going at like and like at once isn't like a person.
Yeah, look, and at the moment, footy has just taken over
Yeah.
in my life. Like at work, footy, uni, it's just like I've got no time for Netflix at the moment. So
So when you do, it's like an episode here or there, but it's still of a current show that that you're getting through
yeah,
the binge. Yep.
yeah.
I'm just looking through my list of stuff: finals, grassroots, other sports, Netflix. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
um, I don't know. I think either be invisible or read people's minds or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Maybe I don't want to know what people are thinking. Maybe I'll just be invisible.
I reckon invisible because you could be a fly on the wall in like the board of selectors room sort of thing, and you can be like, "Am I getting picked this week?"
Just start writing things down.
Oh yeah, literally, and the pen's moving, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay. How do you like your steak cooked?
Oh, medium rare, more on the rare side.
Okay. Yep. Do you
And I love steak, so that's kind of
like I have at least 3 steaks a week, 3 steak meals a week.
I'm on a keto. I'm doing keto, so it's all based around the meats and that. So yeah, I'm really actually because Woolies have just started the butcher style. I've been getting those big tomahawks, which have been
yeah. My favorite is the Scotch fillet. Just three of those. Oh, that's amazing. Speaking of meals, do you have a ritual pre-game meal on game day?
I do, but the meal is then minced up into a smoothie style.
Because
So
keto.
yeah. Look, I do wake up. I have a really strong ritual in the morning. So I'll wake up. I'll take my dog around to the cafe. I'll get my triple shot espresso. And then I'll come back and I'll make a big fruit and veg smoothie, which will be the only real thing that I'll consume before a game. And then, head off to the game, and then I just blare music all the way.
And then you just pound the food afterwards.
Yeah, and just, smash. So Bears actually have pizzas
Pizza.
after the game, which is just like, after the game, you just want a carb load. And that's that's when I am sort of not on my ketos on the weekend, because after a game you just smashing the carbs and maybe have a beer after. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very interesting because almost every player that I've interviewed always has that pre-game, not necessarily like the minute before the game or whatever, but like that pre-game meal, and it's usually either a big meal or it's something that like a big shake or something like that, and then they just don't eat for the rest of the day until the game. And I mean, I play Oztag, nothing like no state or nothing, but like even I have and it's like just a grassroots level, like local comp, and even I found that it throws me off if I eat throughout the day. I'd rather have one big breakfast meal or something, and then just pound the food afterwards after the game.
I think it's just so for me, it's I'm so full of like
nerves.
And
yep,
and
that's what it is.
Like, you just got to force yourself to have something. So that was my only way to sort of, I can't eat a big meal. I have to have like I'll have a big, massive like it's got everything in it, like your strawberries, like all the berries,
And
all like the carrots, spinach, all the good stuff
yep.
into one. That's my get all the nutrients.
Plus a bit of like
that.
the protein powder and stuff mixed in with it,
Yes,
everything.
I'll put a bit of that in there. So yeah, I think it's definitely the nerves that you don't feel.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like I have a big meal just because I don't know why I just started it and I'm like I can't not now. I can't. Like, I can only have a big meal. Yeah, literally. Yeah, but it's not like one sock on and like have to have something like tape on this wrist or whatever. And speaking of rituals, do you have any rituals?
Yeah, that's a different story. So my game day ritual is I have to wear something pink.
Okay.
Don't hold it against me. It's usually either pink undies or either I've been wearing the pink tights. The compression things lately, but usually something has to be pink.
Okay. Has that always been a thing, even like way back in your Jillaroo days? Yeah.
So even either like something red, but because the Bears wear red, so I was like, well, I've got to come up with another color. So it wasn't back then in the Jillaroos. It was red.
Okay.
So now I've had to change my color to something. It just has to be something colourful on the day. So
okay. Well, I mean, how apropos this week because it's women in league round anyway. So
perfect fitting. And I actually just got a mouth guard done the other day.
Are mouth guards mandatory in the women's game at the moment, or no?
No, and I don't even think they're mandatory in some of the lower grades either. So
okay. So yeah, because as you
mentioned, plenty of girls that don't wear mouth guards. I don't wear a mouth guard, but probably should. I had a kid on the weekend that had his tooth knocked out. So.
Oh, I mean, and Joel Thompson, but even Joel Thompson's tongue split, that was with a mouth guard.
Look, there's girls that have even knocked their teeth out with mouth guards in them. We've had to put them.
I've had like cut gums for days, with mouth guards and stuff. It's honestly, I don't see. Like, I get the whole it saves the bottom teeth from whacking into your top teeth, but other than that, it does nothing, really.
Yeah, and I pull horrible faces as it is, and with the mouth guard, 10 times worse.
Do you pull like Luke Rooney style faces?
As I go, they're bracing for impact.
What's your favourite position to play on the field?
Well, I'm a front rower, so you got your one job to do.
Yeah,
just
run the line and break through.
Break them down, just wear them down. And look, when I first started playing footy, I was a centre, and I quickly was told that you are not built as a centre. You need to go into. I was much stronger back then. I was probably 25 kilos less than I am now.
But they're like, you're too tall. You're too big to be a centre. Whack in the middle.
Second row, back in the middle, and then I played a lot in club level around. Which I really love because you can do the pendulum.
You can do a bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my favourite position is lock.
Okay, I mean, because that's as you said, the best of both worlds. It's a bit of a back row, but it's also a forward. So. Yeah,
and look, I'm a bit, these days a bit unfit to be running both sides like Lima is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You're not Scott Sattler in the 2003 grand final sort of style. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else listed on 1 second. Bears, finals, roots, other sports. Okay, I mean, as you said, your brother was, the inspiration to get into rugby league, and you said you played soccer, you played rugby league again up until about under 11s. What got you motivated to get back into rugby league? When you're old enough to get into league again.
Yeah, that's a good question because I was actually at a festival in a Mardi Gras sort of fair day.
Oh, yep.
A couple of. Yeah, Fair Day, where they go and hand out a lot of sports for...
Yep, they've got stalls for days. I've been to Fair Day with my sister, yeah.
Yeah, LGBTI friendly Fair Day where everyone...
It's a great day.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Bring your family and all that.
Bring your dogs.
Yeah, everything. Just bring everything. Free gold coin donation. Yeah, I attended this Fair Day and a couple of girls handed me a flyer to join the Newtown Jets.
Oh, wow, yep.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I knew who the Blue Bags, obviously, growing up around footy, they were one of the big teams along with the Bears. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll go and have a look. And that was in 2009 as well. So it's sort of that year was all a big year for me. That was when I made all the representative
Yep. Was that the year you made the
teams.
Jillaroos, or was it the year after?
Yeah, yeah. So it was that year, it was 2009. I was handed the Flyers in February, so it was a quick turnaround, and then
Wow.
playing in September or October or whatever it was. But yeah, I was handed a flyer from the Newtown Jets. I went and signed up and started training with them. And that's when I was playing in the centres, because I had a lot of big girls when I was a lot fitter and younger back then. And then we went into sort of like, back then you had to go into like a nines comp. And then that's when they selected the city versus country. And at the time, the city versus country wasn't what it was today, where you actually selected country people. It was kind of like...
It was if you live in the city, but you're from the country, you qualify for both, sort of thing.
Yeah, they didn't care. There was no criteria. So, yeah, you did a nines comp between a lot of the club teams, and then you went out and...
And then that way you got picked, well, you either got picked or you didn't, sort of thing.
Yeah, and then you went into the country, so you went up to Queensland to play the Nationals, and then out of the Nationals you got selected in the State of Origin team. So, yeah, it was a little bit different back then.
Yeah, I was like...
There are matches that are crossed over now, but yeah, it wasn't...
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was called the Newtown Jetettes, by the way. It wasn't
Jetettes, that's cool.
Yeah, so we trained down at Tempe.
Yep. No, that's cool. The Jetettes, that's awesome. Are they still are they still a team, but just not in the Harvey Norman at the moment, or?
No, I don't think they have a team, a women's team yet. However, I did see Nrlw Jets have a young women's team in there.
Okay.
So yeah, but I haven't seen Newtown Jetettes establish a team. But maybe that's on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed.
Get one in.
Yeah, get one in for sure. And I guess you could say, closing the interview / chinwag out, whenever you do retire, hopefully it's not anytime soon, do you see yourself maybe getting into a coaching type role at the North Sydney Bears, or in general at a NRLW club, or like trying to stay like amongst the girls and keep the wonderful women's sport of rugby league, ever growing?
Yeah, look, I guess every player sort of, wants to stay in and around footy as much as they can. Even through an injury, you try and stay around footy. But yeah, look, I have given coaching a crack in the past, although I was too hungry to get back out there myself, so I ended up being a coach player. So I didn't end up being a good coach because I was playing.
Captain coach, yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to, I definitely want to get in and around footy. I'm, for the likes of Lacey Shields and Karen Stewart, they're all big inspirations to me. So yeah, I definitely want to sort of contribute back to the game that's given so much to me.
Yeah.
And as a player, you always want to leave things better than you found it, and that's what all these girls are doing now. So and it's really good that so many young girls have these opportunities to look up to athletes like Wheeler and Jemima, Bremner, all those type of girls, and it's really good just to have those players, but also the foundation players that are hanging around the fitness field. Yeah, I definitely want to give it a crack and be involved as much as I can in my retirement.
No, that's awesome. And that about more or less wraps it up. That's basically everything I had listed, and even some extras. So I'm going to say thank you very much, and I'll get you on at the end of the season. Hopefully it's one more week longer for you guys.
Hopefully I'm still wearing the winning whatever it is we get.
Yep.
Holding the cup. I might even have the cup holding the cup.
Yep. I mean, exactly. I'll get you on again at the end of the season to talk, a season wrap up of the Bears Harvey Norman Premiership. What I was going to say, so I'm just about to click the stop recording. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it today.